Raiden had been rapidly gaining experience and confidence as the right-hand man for Supreme Calamitas. However, he was still far from being strong enough to restore Supreme Calamitas to her previous power. So Raiden continued searching his world for new weapons and stronger crafting materials. Eventually he found a lab in the sky that contained digital records from someone named Raiden. Raiden studied the old log files and learned of 3 mechanical constructs that were built with the power of souls of fright, sight, and might. If Raiden could destroy these mechanical monsters, he could harness this power for himself and be one step closer to ruling at the side of Supreme Calamitas. Welcome back. This is Rito here with another Terraria Calamity Let's Play episode. We are playing a rogue class on death mode, and we've got so many cool things to do this episode. Last episode we defeated Cryogen, and this one we've got the mechanical bosses to defeat, we've got labs to explore, we've got new items to acquire, lots of amazing stuff because I've updated this world to be 1.4.5, and it was actually quite a process. I learned how to get the seed from our previous world, and then create a modded world with that same seed. And then I imported all of this into this world using T-Edit. So this is actually a fresh world, but it looks just like the world we were in before because I did a lot of work on it. We even have the same arena over here, the same ice biome, but this is all updated to 1.4.5. So we have the lab up in the sky and labs all around the world, and the Sulphurous Sea has the new update and everything. A lot of people have asked how I use T-Edit with modded worlds, and it does work up to a point. I mainly use T-Edit to copy bases between worlds, and if you're copying blocks that are normal Terraria blocks, it won't impact the world and it won't ruin your world. But you do have to use a T-Edit from 1.3.5, and definitely save backups of your world before doing it. But the problem with T-Edit is that it can't bring modded blocks across, so all of the magic storage was deleted, but I knew that was going to happen, so I just manually moved all that stuff from the old Raiden world into this one, just by filling my inventory, one inventory at a time. And then what I did was go through and defeat all of the critical bosses that we defeated in our previous world up to this point of Cryogen. And that way we could get the world updated to hard mode, and we could have all of our NPCs move back in. And aside from doing all this stuff with the worlds, I also farmed up Cryogen several times. I think it took about 7 or 8 times of farming Cryogen in order to get all of the items we needed. But the result is that we can actually craft the Kelvin Catalyst now. This recipe is quite insane, but it's actually a lot easier to acquire than I was expecting because you don't have to go all over the world and fight different enemies. You just basically just keep fighting Cryogen over and over until you get these items. Let's go ahead and craft it. I am super excited to see what this does. Oh my goodness, this looks so cool on my back. It's such a big weapon. It says it throws an icy blade and splits into multiple ice stars on enemy hits. Pretty awesome. Let's try it on this penguin. Yeah, that's what it does. That's cool. I also fought the Wall of Flesh again, and I got a rogue emblem and this blast barrel. And a lot of people had recommended I get the blast barrel, and it looks pretty sweet. It has such a cool explosion effect. I've been getting tons of recommendations for weapons and items to craft. So what I want to do is start collecting some of those items this episode, and one of them is from the Goblin Army. Well, the Goblin invasion has begun, and we've got a summoner already. It looks like when we hit the summoner, it splits off into these ice particles, and then they home in on the closest enemy, which is pretty sweet. Well, we defeated the Goblin Army, but we didn't get it, so I'm going to go ahead and buy another one of those Goblin Army summons from the Goblin. Here we go, we got another summoner. Hopefully we'll get it this time. There we go, we just got it. Here's the new weapon. It actually looks pretty cool. It throws a spiky ball, it bounces all over. Does pretty good damage. Yeah, this is great. One thing I just realized while fighting the Goblin Army is that I crafted the melee version of the Kelvin Catalyst. So don't do that. There's 2 versions of a lot of weapons, and don't mess up like I did. I think what I'm going to do is switch this out for the rogue version because I am not going to farm up Cryogen 10 more times. So let me do that real quick. Well, now we have the rogue version of the Kelvin Catalyst, and this will do so much more damage. And I also rolled the Burning Strife to Flawless, and I got Unreal on the Kelvin Catalyst, but it's pretty expensive, so I'll have to just keep rolling that later. And apparently Flawless is the best roll now instead of Unreal for rogue weapons, so that's pretty cool. Next, I wanted to craft a couple things, like first the upgrade to the Counter Scarf. And to upgrade the scarf, you just need Souls of Night, Souls of Light, and some silk. So let's go ahead and craft that. And it looks pretty cool. I like the new sprite, and the original got a new sprite as well. This is pretty much the same item, it just gives you less time in between cooldowns. Another thing I wanted to craft is the Daedalus fishing pole. That's pretty simple. And this will be really good because we need to do some fishing. We need to catch some chaos fish at some point, and then we need to also catch a weapon that you can get from the astral biome. I bought some bait from the merchant, and now it's time to head over to the astral biome, and we can do some fishing and also farm up some Titan hearts because they've added a new armor set to the game, and it's a rogue specific armor set, so I definitely want to pick that up. Well, it looks like we've entered the astral biome, and it's cool because it's actually moved over slightly. It used to be over top of our corruption in our previous world, and this is a much better spawn for it. And it's got this awesome structure in the middle, which I believe is used later on to summon Astrum Dias. And we've got all these trees here, so we'll want to break them and pick up the astral monolith blocks, because those will be used to craft our armor set. And I think after this tree, we'll probably have more than enough. And here we have a little place to fish, so let's try this out. Hopefully we can catch something good. It's going to be a little bit tricky to fish in this biome though. Oh cool, we got an astral crate just now. Interesting, it didn't really give us anything special. We did just get an anchor though. That's cool. We just got the mollusk. That's awesome. Yeah, this looks pretty powerful. We're gonna have to definitely DPS test some of our weapons now that we've got so many new ones. This one looks like it shoots off sparks that home in on enemies. I heard that if you just shoot it straight up in the air, it will do really good damage to pretty much everything around you. Oh, and here we have an Atlas. This is our first one. I was worried they weren't spawning because I haven't seen them yet, but maybe they're just a little bit more rare. And hopefully we'll get a heart. Yes, we got a heart. All we need is one heart for each piece of the armor set, so we just need to kill 2 more of these. There we go. And here's our last Atlas. So let's get this and we can go craft our cool armor set. Excellent. So let's go ahead and craft this armor. And now let's see how it compares to our Daedalus armor. We've got 96 defense currently, and we have 183 rogue damage. So it looks like our defense just went up by 2, and our rogue damage also went up. That's pretty powerful. It looks like this armor set will give us astral infection debuffs when we attack with rogue weapons. The Daedalus armor will throw a rogue projectile, but it also benefits us if we're wearing the ornate shield. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn between these. I think because of the ornate shield, the Daedalus armor is going to be a little bit more tanky, but I may switch over to this armor right here. And maybe we'll switch the ornate shield out for the rogue emblem instead. Now I want to take a look at the lab above us. So let's go ahead and use a gravitation potion and head up to the lab. I made a video about this recently. There's always a lab in the planetoid right above the spawn point. And here we go. Whoa, that's a cool stealth attack. And these labs look so cool. I love that they've added these. And we've got lots of good stuff that we can pick up. So let's go ahead and grab some of these items, and then let's put them back down so we can start charging fuel. I may just leave these up here and turn this into kind of my fuel making factory because I don't have room in my base for it. Or maybe I'll move this down into the dungeon or something. Not sure yet. But for now, I'll leave these working up here. And in these chests up here, we've got all sorts of good stuff. We've got mysterious circuitry, we've got dubious plating, we've got tons of planters. So let's grab all of that. And let's grab all of this. We've got a log for space. We've got an encrypted schematic, but mainly it's this circuitry that we needed and the plating, because there's actually a weapon that I think we can craft. this tracking disc. I think we've outgrown it, but I kind of want to just craft it anyways and see what it does. So here's the tracking disc that we can craft. So let's go ahead and try this out. It rolled as flimsy, but it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be using this right now, but I still wanted to see what it does. And this is actually pretty cool. If we would have gotten this pre-hard mode, this would have been really powerful, I think. The way it shoots lasers, man, that's really good. This would have made quick work of the slime god, I think. And now I want to do a quick DPS test on some of the new items that we have, like the Burning Strife can do about 900 damage, and the Kelvin Catalyst can do about 1,000 damage, 1,200, and the Ice Star can do about 1,000 as well. And this Mollusk, if we throw it straight up in the air, oh my gosh, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, what? Okay, so this might be our highest DPS weapon. If we just throw this straight up in the air during the destroyer fight, I could see this doing insanely good damage. Another thing that I did in between episodes is buy a bunch of materials from the AlchemistNPC, including ichor, so we can actually go craft some ichor flasks, which will help increase our damage a ton. We'll go ahead and do 30, and then we can replace our fire flask for this ichor one, and that will do a big increase in damage. Another thing that we need to craft is the Moonlight and the Daylight. These are pretty easy to craft. Moonlight just requires Souls of Night, Frigid Bars, and Daylight just requires Souls of Light and Hellstone. And then when you have the two of those together, you can craft Cosmolite. It switches between day and night, which is such a quality of life increase. Oh, and it looks like something is approaching. That means we're probably going to fight a mechanical boss. Oh my gosh, we have the destroyer. And I was looking through my inventory. No. The destroyer did so much damage to us right off the bat. And we've got a new song for this from the Calamity Extra Music. This is great. Okay, I need to turn on my map. And we definitely need to zoom out. And let's just start throwing this up in the air. I think this is going to be the weapon I choose for this, because there's just so much damage that you can do. And it's pretty simple to use. Just throw it up in the air and dodge the boss and stay alive. They've changed this boss fight, I think. It used to be that he would shoot like a tractor beam at you and lock you in place, and I think they've removed that for death mode. But it looks like he's shooting green and red lasers. The red ones just do damage. I'm not sure what the green ones do. But we're just decimating this boss. 50% already. I'm really glad so many people recommended that I fish in the astral biome. I never really would have done that. But this is such a good weapon. Look at that, 2,500 DPS. And it's so good at knocking out all of these little drones that spawn, because it homes in on all of them when they appear. Whoa, that was close. That was almost a hit from the head. Oh my goodness, another close encounter. We gotta be careful. But we've almost got him. Yeah, these little drones have no chance with all of these projectiles that I'm shooting. Whoa, I almost ran into him there. I've been really lucky this fight not to get hit by the head. I keep having these close encounters. There we go. That was definitely a lot easier than I was expecting it to be in death mode. We could have also probably used our Burning Strife. That probably would have done pretty well. Our Kelvin Catalyst even would have done well. The Blazing Star, when he was nearby, would probably do really well too. We just have so many good weapons right now. So let's take a look at what we got in our treasure bag. We have the Soul of Might, we have Hallowed Bars, and of course the Wagon Piece. Oh, and it looks like the Rogue is now selling something. There's a new weapon that she's selling, the Bouncy Betty. So let's get that. And the Latcher Mine, for sure, let's buy that too. So it looks like these are consumables. So let's go ahead and buy a full stack of them. One thing I really like about using consumables is that you don't have to reroll them at the Goblin Tinkerer, so it saves you a lot of money. Okay, this is interesting. So it bounces and then explodes. And then we've got the Latcher Mine. So this one just kind of hits and explodes. It really isn't doing that much damage compared to the other weapons we've got. And then the Latcher Mine grabs onto the enemy and then explodes. Pretty cool, but both of them are pretty low on damage, to be honest. It looks like with Hallowed Bars we can craft so much cool stuff. Like this armor set right here is just the Solar Veil and Hallowed Bars. So we should definitely upgrade to that soon, or at least try it out. And there's so many different rogue weapons we can craft right here. We can craft Consecrated Water, Desecrated Water, Exorcism, and then this right here, which is a Spiky Ball upgrade. And eventually we can do the Ponage Hammer, which will be awesome. And we can do the Stormfront Razor. I'm so excited with how many weapons we've got access to right now. So first let's go ahead and craft this Stormfront Razor. And let's see what this does. Whoa, this looks so cool. It's shooting out so many particle effects, and it's surprisingly not really that laggy. I just bought some hallowed seeds from the Dryad, so now I think we should be able to craft these different types of water. So we have the unholy water right here. So let's craft a few of those. I think we need 100. And then that allows us to craft the desecrated water. So let's do that. And now let's craft 100 holy waters. And that allows us to craft the consecrated water, which just is holy water, hallowed bars, crystal shards, and souls of light. And now we have 2 new weapons. Pretty awesome. So let's see what these do. Whoa, this is actually really cool. I was expecting it to just be like kind of a flask that you throw, but this summons these homing projectiles. Oh my gosh, consecrated water looks really cool too. Next, I think we actually can craft our Ank Shield now. So let's take a look. It should all be here. So we got the plan from the fast clock and the trifold map. And then I think we need armor polish, and now we can craft the armor bracing. And then we can craft a bezoar, that's pretty easy. And we can do the medicated bandage. And I think the only thing left is maybe the megaphone. I think we might be missing that. And that just requires hallowed bars, ruby, and wire. And now we can craft the counter curse mantra. And then the Ankh charm. And I don't think we have an obsidian shield, so I think we need to craft an obsidian skull. And now we can craft our obsidian shield. And now we can do the Ank Shield. That's like the fastest crafting of an Ank Shield I think I've ever done. We can also craft Radiant Ooze, which is required for the Ambrosial accessory later on. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think I see Ancient Fossil. Might as well craft that too. Some people have mentioned that the Dig Faster tool has an upgrade. And I think the only thing I'm missing are some Builder Potions. So now I think I should be able to craft the Dig Faster upgrade, which is the tool time. So I think this will really increase my speed of digging. Also does tool, painting, tile, wall speed increases. And it increases range, so I'll have to try that out. Now I think it's time to fight another mechanical boss, so let's craft a mechanical skull. Maybe we'll fight Skeletron Prime over here in this biome, because it's a little bit of a better arena. On this fight, let's try different types of weapons. We've got the Stormfront Razor, which is pretty sweet. Man, this is so much of a crazier fight in death mode. We can try Burning Strife. It requires that you hit pretty accurately though. Maybe the Kelvin Catalyst will be good. Ooh, this is actually pretty good. Because it's so big, it can kind of land shots on all the different parts of the boss. You don't really have to do too much of precise aim, you just kind of throw it into the middle of all of the action. Ooh, we almost have adrenaline. There we go. Adrenaline. Excellent. Yeah, this is doing amazing. And we could try this Ice Star, because this one can do pretty good. We just have to be close enough for it to home in properly. And of course we've got the Mollusk. So let's try that one out and see if we can get higher damage. Yeah, this one can clearly do the most damage, I think. This and the Kelvin Catalyst are probably our best options for this fight. And let's try our Desecrated Water and see how this goes. Although the water's doing well too. This, I feel like, is the episode of collecting weapons. We've gotten so many different weapons this episode. I guess if we just throw it at the ground, we could create all these homing particles. We just have to get close enough. So the Consecrated Water, when you hit something, the effect goes on the ground, so that's really not that useful. I think it's time to switch back to the Kelvin Catalyst, because we got to make sure we do enough damage to finish this off before morning, which I don't think we're going to have a problem with. There we go. And I think I'll go back to the mollusk for this part of the fight. And I forgot he shoots out those little skulls just like the normal Skeletron does. And then he shoots rockets. Man, this is such a fun fight. I forgot how cool Death Mode Skeletron Prime is. And we got rockets coming. Ooh, that was close. And maybe let's switch back to a different weapon. And we almost have adrenaline again. Perfect. We've almost got him. There we go. And we got Hallowed Bars and Souls of Fright, and we have the Skeletron Prime lore. So the lore says favorite this item to boost your armor penetration, however your max acceleration is decreased due to you feeling heavier. It looks like they changed the lore so that you have to favorite them before they just give you the effect. That's actually really cool, so when you pick them up it doesn't automatically apply it. And I think that's a great place to end this episode. We've defeated the Destroyer and Skeletron Prime, which means next episode we'll have to go ahead and do the twins, maybe the Brimstone Elemental as well. Lots of good stuff coming up. We also crafted a whole bunch of different weapons. I hope y'all are enjoying this series. If you are, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.